breaking the calm. They came on motorcycles, trikes, and quads. From Minnesota, Chippewa Falls, Wausau, and even Florida. Veterans who came to honor their fallen brethren.
Because it's for the veterans. It's for people that we lost in the wars, probably people that we will lose in wars. We wanted to come out for a good cause and, get the vets together as a ride and help each other out and be there for each other.
Before?
This is my second year.
Second year?
This would be my first year.
First
Yep.
year?
Yep, absolutely.
So, you have any expectations?
No, just to get out with fellow service members and like I say, ride for a good cause.
More than their medals, patches on their vests. Their bikes testify to their love of country and pride of service.
Tell me about your bike.
Well, it's the 6th year I've ridden it and ridden it, so wouldn't have any other bike. I just dress it out the way I like it. Spent over 5 years in the military, so that's my pride right there with the military.
Patrick Lessick, Eau Claire, Wisconsin, 21 and a half years in the Army.
It's a 2025 Road Glide I bought back in September from Chippewa Falls Harley-Davidson. I took it out to Southern Country Customs out in North Carolina. Steve Wallace, the owner, custom built this for me.
It's got 49 stars built into the bike, and the 50th is on my helmet for the 50 states. It's got fat front tire, front and rear air ride, center stand, Top Shop Mini Moneymaker bags, custom paint, custom bars, custom seat. Pretty much everything on the bike is custom. It's something I've always wanted to do when I was younger growing up, into racing and stuff. I've always liked Steve and Rusty Wallace, and then going out to Sturgis a couple years ago and seeing some of their builds out there, knowing that they owned a shop and they custom built bikes, I decided to buy one and take it out there and have a build done.
Now the riders depart the Highground to make a parade loop into Yellsville and back again for the Memorial Day ceremony.
If you are able to stand, please stand at attention with your hat or your hand over your heart as the flag passes by. Veterans and military, you will salute upon my command. Gentlemen, you may march on the colors. Veterans and military, hand salute. The National Moment of Remembrance was created by a governmental act in the year 2000. We shall now pause 1 minute in silence to honor all who have died in the military service to our country. Please uncover. Thank you. The Boys and Girl Scouts, specifically the Girl Scouts today, have volunteered to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand with your hand over your heart. Veterans of the military, please salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Girl Scouts. It's very much appreciated. The singing of the national anthem today will be done by Abigail Mathis. Abby is from Neilsville. She's going to be doing this a cappella. And if you would like to join her, please do so. Please stand again with your hand over your heart. Veterans not in uniform have the option of saluting. Those in uniform, please salute.
Oh, can you see by the dawn's early light was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose brow some bright stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts we watched first to brilliantly streaming, and the rockets glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that a flame was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Abby. Our invocation today is going to be led by Ron, better known as Preacher. So if you would come forward, please uncover and bow your heads.
Dear Heavenly Father, Eternal Commander-in-Chief, as we stand here today remembering our brothers and sisters from all wars and conflicts who died with their boots on, we pay honor to their ultimate sacrifice given for the love of their family and their country. I ask, Lord, that you will comfort, strengthen, and protect the families and those who fought beside these fallen heroes. Help them to realize and appreciate the great value of the sacrifice their loved one gave their life for. As we stand on this hallowed, healing ground, I also remember this day of the brothers and sisters who came home but are carrying physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual burdens from things their eyes have seen and their minds cannot forget. Please watch over them, protect them, and heal them. And I ask, Lord, that what is seen and heard here today will give an added measure of patriotism to the patriotic civilians that are gathered here. Thank you, Lord, for loving and caring for us and for hearing and answering our prayers. I now ask the Lord's blessing on you all. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you his peace. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Preacher. At this time, we may post the colors. Let me introduce myself. I'm Gary Wyrow. I'm one of the 14 volunteer directors that serve here at the organization. And I'm also one of a lot of different volunteers that we have here that keep the high ground running. So when you see the grass being mowed, and weeds being trimmed, and flowers being planted, and food being made, and the monuments being cleaned, these are people that are here donating their time to make sure that this park is kept looking as well as it does. Also, I should remind you that we are supported by donors. We are not taxpayer supported. So again, you saw one donation that we had earlier today, and we are supported by a lot of small donors that have large hearts and don't look at their pocketbooks when they're making those donations. You should also know that we're open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and we never charge an entrance fee into this park. We have from time to time received grants to help keep us in business. We did receive one large COVID grant that helped us build a museum, but again, outside of that, it's the small donors that are our network and our lifeblood, along with our volunteers. How many of you are visitors for the first time to the Highground Park? I see a few of you in the audience that are here for the first time, and we hope this is absolutely not your last time visiting the park. So I'm going to give you a little bit of history of how this park was formed, when and why. The original inspiration was from a man by the name of Tom Miller. He was a Marine in Vietnam, December 1965, and he held his dying friend, Jack Swender. And he at that point in time, said that I'm going to do something in my life to honor Jack. It's just that it took a long time for him to do that, because I know many of you, like me, were a veteran of the 60s. And veterans then were not revered like they are today. So even though Tom made his promise, it was 19 years later in 1984 that he filed his nonprofit, Wisconsin Vietnam Veterans Memorial Project, Inc. And with that, the next year he began a ride around the state of Wisconsin, riding 1,244 miles. 1 mile for each Wisconsin veteran that lost his life in Vietnam. That was the first honor ride, wherein he made people around the state cognizant of veterans' conditions and that he wanted to build a memorial. And in 1985, they started to search around the state, and they looked at as many as 50 different locations, this one being one of the last that they looked at. And when they looked at it, and they saw the natural beauty, you can see all the mounds all the way out to Black River Falls. And we're only 30 miles from the geographic center of the state. And they said you could come here, visit for the day, and still be home for supper anywhere in the state. And so after they saw this, they decided that this was where they wanted to be. Now, over the years, our trees have grown up and we can't see as much of the terrain as we used to, but we have 155 acres here, We have 4 miles of hiking trails down below. And we have started a project to thin some of the trees to get our sight line back, because Tom Miller was back last year. He's now in his early 80s, and he says, "Where's my sight line?" And so we promised to do something to improve it. And of course, the emerald ash borer is also helping us along, even though we don't necessarily want them. Now, after Tom rode those miles and he selected this property, they still needed to come up with the money to purchase this, because at that time it was 100 acres. And it was basically a cow pasture out here in front. And they needed a large donation to buy this land. So the Listman Foundation from Neillsville stepped forward and gave them the initial money in 1985 to buy this property. With that caveat, they said something needs to be built in 1 year. And so the Clark County Veterans Council gave us that flagpole. And that was placed here in 1986 in fulfillment of the pledge that something would be built here in 1 year. Now, at the same time, the Army Corps of Engineers and the National Guard started working on this plaza, this point, along with a lot of veteran volunteers that came out here and helped. And as they built this plaza in 86 and 87, the veterans out here noticed that this looks like the high ground, because we had to fight for the high ground, both to attain it and to hold it. And so from that point forward, we became known as the high ground. Now, the first monument was dedicated here in 1988, and that monument is fragments, which sits at the base of our plaza. And that is our Vietnam Veterans Memorial. And underneath there are wind chimes. And on those wind chimes, there are the names of 1,244 men and women from Wisconsin who sacrificed their lives in Vietnam. That, gentlemen and ladies, is why you ride to remember and to honor. The second thing that was placed here was the peace dove. This is an effigy mound that's over in that corner, and it's a place of solace and solitude. In that peace dove is dirt from every county in Wisconsin, from every state in the Union, from 18 foreign countries, and from North and South Vietnam. The third monument that was placed here is the Gold Star, and that is over that point. Unfortunately, the mice don't leave our rope lighting alone, and the deer have been trampling through there, and we promise that before the Vietnam reunion, we will have that thing ship-shape this summer. And that, again, was a tribute to all the lives initially lost in World War I and then coming forward. So at that point in time, the board said, the Vietnam Memorial here is complete. And this was in 1990. And then they looked around, and in 1992, they said, this could be so much more. And so they changed the charter. And they said, we are going to be a Veterans Memorial that will stretch from World War I forward. And so the first additional monument was the Doughboy. And if you remember, he said, first by the gift shop, now he's up in front of the museum. And he stands with his arm raised in greeting, because we are a Veterans Park and we are not a war memorial. That Doughboy is dedicated to the 3,932 Wisconsin service members who died in World War I. Again, this is why you ride to honor and remember. Now, after that, we also added the nurse and over there the wasp as a tribute to our women veterans. We added shortly thereafter the World War II tribute, which is the globe which sits on that corner of our monument. And that's a tribute to the 8,390 Wisconsin service members who died in that conflict. Again, why you ride to honor and remember. Behind you was added in 1995, the National Native American Vietnam Veterans Memorial. That stands right back behind you, behind the flagpole and across the parking lot. There were more than 42,000 Native Americans that served in Vietnam. And basically, excuse me, 90% of those were volunteers. And 232 of them have their name etched on the wall. Again, a reason for you to ride and remember. After that, we added the Liberty Bell, we've added the dog tribute, we've added the meditation garden. And one of the last things we added was the Persian Gulf tribute, which stands down below the hill. The Persian Gulf tribute is a tribute to the 136 Wisconsin men and women who have given their lives in the Great War on Terror. Again, the reason that you ride to honor and remember. In 2010, we dedicated the museum, and we added to that. Last year on May 2nd, we dedicated the additional 6,000 square foot addition to it. Later this year, as we turn our exhibits every 3 months or so in the museum, we're going to have a Holocaust remembrance in there. The current exhibit is a tribute to Native Americans who have served in our military, and it is called Why We Serve. And this is my lead-in today to our featured speaker, who is Melissa Dow. Melissa is a Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs tribal liaison and a proud member of the Lac du Flambeau Band of Lake Superior Chippewa Indians in northern Wisconsin. A 20-year U.S. Army veteran, she served at various duty stations worldwide, including a tour in Iraq. Now, she asked me not to do too much in this introduction, so I will just simply say she's an active advocate for Native veterans. Melissa regularly connects with tribal veterans at cultural events and community gatherings. She's a mother of 5, a grandmother of 2, enjoys dancing at powwows, practicing her culture, hunting, fishing, hiking, traveling, and sewing. Melissa?
Bonjour. Niwe magana dog. Animiki kwe indigenous cause was bargaining den dunjba makwa nindudan. Shabe Dow. My name is Melissa Dow. I'm a Lac du Flambeau tribal member. I am Bear Clan, and my Indian name is Thunder Woman, or as I was told, the storm is coming. Pretty befitting. I want to take a moment to do a land acknowledgement for our Ho-Chunk people, our Ho-Chunk families that are here. Just want to take a moment to do that. Today, we gather to remember. We remember the men and women who gave their lives in service to our country. We remember their courage, their sacrifice, and the families they left behind. We remember that freedom is never free. It is paid for with devotion, bravery, and sometimes the ultimate price. Today we gather to honor the brave men and women who gave their lives in service to this country. Memorial Day is more than a holiday. It is a day of remembrance, gratitude, and reflection. We remember those who answered the call to serve, who stood for freedom, and who made the ultimate sacrifice so that we may live in peace and harmony. We can honor their memory by living in kindness, courage, and respect for one another. Today, I also want to recognize the sacrifices made by military families, Gold Star families, and veterans who continue to carry the memories of those they lost. Let us take a moment today to remember the fallen, reflect on the freedoms we enjoy, and never forget the cost of those freedoms. May we also honor their sacrifice and keep their memories alive. As we enjoy this day together, let us pause to honor those who are no longer with us. Thank you. Let us not only remember them today, but carry their memory on with us every day in how we live, how we serve others, and how we protect the values they died defending. Each veteran has his or her own story and their own journey. Why or how they joined, why they served, where they were stationed, and the moments they experienced, the friends they made, and the bonds that last a lifetime. Today, I'd like to share my journey with you, a journey that took me across the world, challenged me in ways I never imagined, and shaped me into the person I am today. I would also like to take a moment to acknowledge my family. Please stand up. Who've been a wonderful support system. I served in the United States Army Guard for 20 years as a 92 Yankee supply sergeant. I went to college in Upper Michigan right out of high school. When I came home for Christmas break, I saw one of my best friends, two of my cousins, a few other friends in their military dress uniforms from different branches. And I thought to myself, wow, what am I doing? I was so proud of them and a little envious. I knew right then and there that I was going to sign up too. I found an Army recruiter. That Navy recruiter was trying to get me, but no. And I signed the dotted line. My dad was in the Army, my uncle was in the Army, my husband, my father-in-law, his grandpa. It's a generational thing. One of my sons also served in the Army. My career began at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, where I went through basic training in AIT, and like many fresh recruits, I was eager, motivated, maybe a little nervous about what lay ahead. But from day one, I knew I made the right choice. Over the years, the Army took me to places I never expected: Korea, Fort Sill, Oklahoma, Fort Richardson, Alaska, Fort Knox, Kentucky, Schofield Barracks, Hawaii, Fort McCoy. And while stationed in Korea, I had the opportunity to visit Japan and Guam, experiences that opened my eyes to different cultures and strengthened my appreciation for our global alliances. Every duty station, every deployment, and every mission brought new challenges, new alliances, new friendships, and new lessons. I've been to every state in the United States through my military and personal travel, and there's still places I want to see. One of the most defining moments in my career was my tour in Iraq. Going into battle and deploying into combat pushes you to your limits physically, mentally, and emotionally. As a supply sergeant, it wasn't my job just to issue gear. It was about ensuring that every soldier had what they needed to be protected, complete the mission, and come home safely. It was about accountability, resourcefulness, and taking care of my fellow soldiers. In those moments, I saw firsthand the importance of teamwork, resilience, and leadership under pressure. Throughout my 20 years in uniform, I learned that the Army isn't just a job. It's a sisterhood and a brotherhood. It's about service, sacrifice, standing shoulder to shoulder with people who become your family. As I moved through the ranks, I took pride in mentoring younger soldiers and helping them find their paths, while passing down the lessons and teachings I had learned. When I retired in 2010, I thought I was prepared for the transition to civilian life. But like many veterans, I quickly realized how much the military had shaped my identity. The structure, the sense of purpose, the camaraderie, it's not easy to replace. That's why I've dedicated my life and myself to continuing the mission in another way. Today I serve as the Tribal Veteran Liaison for the Wisconsin Department of Veteran Affairs. My role is to build and strengthen relationships with all 11 federally recognized tribes in Wisconsin, as well as the 72 counties, with a theme we like to call 83 Strong. My mission includes ensuring that Native veterans, as well as any and all veterans, ensure they receive the support, recognition, and resources they deserve. I was so blessed and honored to be offered this job in 2022. Right after I accepted the position, I found out I had breast cancer. It was very scary and very private, but I'm willing to share the story now. I dove into my job, all the while going through chemotherapy, double mastectomy, and radiation, and losing all my hair. In my first year in my role while battling this horrific disease, Secretary Bond and I visited all 11 tribes and their leadership, as well as their tribal veteran service officers, within a 6-month time frame. So I didn't let that stop me or get me down. This feat was not an easy task to coordinate, all the while going through my battle, but we accomplished it not only once, not only twice, but 3 times. The first visit established a relationship. When we returned for a second round of visits, we took a deeper dive into the rich cultures, histories, and diversity within these tribal communities. Since the relationships had been built, the third visits continued with trust and meaningful dialogue. I'll also share that while tribes share many similarities, they also have many differences, unique traditions, perspectives, different languages, and challenges. One thing remains the same: the deep sense of pride in service, a commitment to community, and resilience that runs generations deep. Native Americans have the highest per capita to serve in the military at 5 times the national average. I'm going to go off script and say that one time somebody asked me, for a country that did such harm to your people, why did you guys go to the highest rating? And I said the answer is so easy. These are original lands, and we will do everything we can collectively to protect it. I try to live my life by the 3 I's: impact, influence, and inspire. I aim to make a meaningful impact in my community, influence others through my actions and integrity, and inspire the next generation by sharing my story and honoring those who came before me. Impact. Make a difference. Be present in your community. Show up to events, gatherings. Advocate for change. Use your position and voice to push for better resources, recognition, and support for all of our veterans. Serve with purpose, whether it's mentoring, educating, or helping a person navigate the system. Every small act has a ripple effect. Influence. Lead by example. Walk the walk. Educate others. Share your knowledge about benefits. Build bridges between generations and veterans and services. They'll remember who brought them together. Inspire. Light the way for others. Share your story. Speak in your community. Highlight other heroes. And live with heart. Your authenticity, humility, and commitment can speak something in some others, especially younger people looking for purpose. Service doesn't end when we take off the uniform. It continues in a way we lead our communities, support our fellow veterans, and ensure that the next generation understands the value and dedication and sacrifice. I'm proud of my 20 years in the military, the soldiers I served with, my journey to where I am today. I'm honored to be a part of the Wisconsin Department of Veteran Affairs, a proud Lac-du-Flambeau tribal member, where I can continue to serve those who served and build lasting relationships and connections and ensure every veteran story is remembered and respected. One day, I too will be a memory. And I hope that my story is impactful, influential, and inspiring. Miigwech, thank you and happy Memorial Day.
A large thank you to Melissa for that very inspiring message. Please give her another round of applause.
My dresses are inside. You can share that, so we can get my dresses.
Go ahead.
Oh, and just if you haven't seen the Native American display inside of the building, the two dresses that are there, it's a bullet jingle dress and a POW MIA dog tag jingle dress. Those are mine. So just wanted to share that. Miigwech.
I was addressing you before. How could I forget the Forgotten War? In 2007, we dedicated the Korean Memorial, which is over in that corner. And we had 1,000 people right here on the parking lot that day for the dedication of that memorial. And to remember the 801 Wisconsin men and women that lost their lives in Korea. Again, a reason why you ride to honor and remember. As we are about to close this ceremony, I would like to quote from a book, With the Old Breed by World War II Marine Eugene Sledge. He wrote, "War is brutish, inglorious, and a total waste. Combat leaves an indelible mark on those who are forced to endure it. The only redeeming factors were my comrades' incredible bravery and their devotion to each other. Until the millennium arrives and countries cease to enslave others, it will be necessary to accept one's responsibility to and be willing to make sacrifices for one's country as my comrades did, as you all have." At this time, would the volunteers who will read the names of our deceased veterans come forward? As you come forward, I will read the High Ground Promise. The High Ground and all present solemnly remember and honor every individual who has served, whether in times of war or peace. Every veteran, regardless of era, has made an unwavering commitment to our nation, pledging their service and, if necessary, their life. More than 26,000 Wisconsin men and women have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country. As a lasting tribute to all of them, we present a rotating list of names at each ceremony. By reading the names, we reaffirm our vow to always remember and honor those who lost their lives during or as a result of their service. We will never forget. After each name is read, please respond with present.
Daniel J. Thompson. Matthew Thompson. Jesse D. Tillery. Harry H. Timberman. John O. Tollefson. Eugene A. Ull III. Nathan J. Vacco. Adam J. Van Alstyne. Brent T. Vroman. Jeremy D. Vroman. Patrick L. Wade. Andrew P. Wallace. Patrick Wonke. Richard D. Warner. Robert P. Warnes II. Anthony R. Wasilowski. Michael J. Wendling. Earl D. Werner. Matthew J. West. Travis M. Witchlet.
Michelle M. Whitmer, Jeremy L. Wolf, Daniel R. Wyatt, Carl Zabel, Luke J. Zimmerman, Matthew R. Zinders, Ryan C. Adams, Jesse B. Albrecht, Tracy Lynn Alger, Joseph J. Altman, Nicholas R. Anderson, Paul J. Atim, Paul R. Bartz, Norbert J. Gorman, Paul A. Graber, Rodney F. Graff, Wilbur J. Grass, Donald J. Grasald, Gerald Clifford Gravine, Ronald William Grebe, James Theodore Griswold, Laverne A. Gruber, Henry T. Gruna, Oswald Grunig, Raymond B. Gunderson, Russell N. Hackinson, Robert H. Ham, Carl P. Hammer, Joseph E. Hent, Melvin O. Hendrich, Harlan T. Hansen, Raymond W. Hansen, Richard Bennett Hansen, Daniel W. Hannes, Donald P. Hardinger, David J. Hargrave, Lamar Frank Hassel, Richard N. Hawks, Earl W. Hedrickton Jr., Donald O. Heason.
Marlon A. Hinecki, Dale A. Heiss, Charles R. Orlin W. Helling, Richard Earl Henderson, Donald R. Hendrickson, Dennis Lloyd Antone, Timothy George Arns, Thomas Leon Armitage, Kenneth W. Arnold, Robert D. Arnold, Robin L. Arnold, William T. Arnold, James M. Aries, John J. Artega, Jerry A. Ashburn, James L. Asher, Roger Carl Atkinson, Dennis Lee Babcock, Dwight Fabian Babel.
Nicolot Babish, Lyman Conrad Bach, Russell Leroy Bakri Jr., Robert Monty Baer, David James Batlinger, William Donald Bakken, Orville Arthur Baldwin, Robert Lanou Baldwin, Richard John Balthor, Richard Michael Bagneski, David Lennox Banks, John L. Banks III, Gerald Joseph Bennick, Michael Joseph Banzrove Jr., Albin Anton Barzik, David Gregory Barnes, Robert Howard Baer, Michael Paul Bartley, Richard D. Bartholomew Jr., and Gregory Joseph Barkowski. At this time, Justin Clute will present TAPS,
Please stand at attention with your hand or your heart over your heart. Veterans and military, you may salute. This time I'll ask our color guard to retire the colors of our country. As they are making their way up to the flags. I would like to thank everyone who volunteered to help today, all of the riders who came and made this a memorable event. I'll also ask you to please visit the museum if you have time before you start your parade home, and visit the gift shop if you're so inclined. Remember that this high ground belongs to you. As volunteers and board members, we are simply the caretakers of your interests. So I ask you to come back as often as you can and spend time with us. So thank you for coming today. God bless you. Please remember our mission, which is to honor, to educate, and to heal.